Hello everybody and welcome to this tutorial how to model this cooking utility in Shaper 3D. In this video I will show you how we can take an object that is visually quite complex as you can see and then try to model it in the easiest possible steps. As you can see, there are quite many details. We'll also create all the sketches which we need for this object. And as you can see already, the sketches are actually leaving out many details. And that is fine. In this video you will see we will only create sketches which provide as much information as necessary, and then we will do all the rest simply in direct modeling. And this is, in terms of 3D modeling, from my point of view as a professional, simply the most effective, efficient way. Work smart and not work hard. So with all this said, let's create a new scene. Let's get started with a new scene. Our unit system is set to centimeters and all our snap elements are turned on. We will go to the front view and center our scene, and we will start putting down a basic sketch for these cup-like shapes. To do this, we just draw a vertical line here. Lock the point so it doesn't move. I have auto constraint turned on, so this line has a vertical constraint, and we will set this to 5 centimeters. 2 fingers pinch. Let's zoom in a little bit more. A horizontal line, a vertical line, and now we need to add a quarter arc because this object actually has a dome as a cap. So with a pencil, make an arc motion. There's our arc. When we have the auto constraint turned on, you see that the arc and the line have a tangent constraint. If not, you have to add it by yourself. Select the profile, select this line, which is kind of like the revolve axis, and do a revolve test. This looks pretty good. Okay, let's undo. The bottom part has actually a small cavity in the shape of a domed surface too. So somewhere here, we need to put in a dome too. Now, how can we make sure that the shape, for example, is nice and round? So I do something like this here on purpose, so you can see the problem we see. There, this is not a circular shape. This is more like a cone shape. So let me show you how we adjust the sketch now. There are actually 2 elements we can work with this point. This point always has to be in this configuration under this line or this point. This all needs to be on one line. Or what might be easier is simply add a small helper line. You see, there's a line. We make this horizontal, and then this line to this arc we make tangent. You see now this actually moved this point right under it. I can move this not left and right. I can only move this up and down. Very good, easy, no? So we set this to 5 millimeters, so 0.5 centimeters, and then here this should be 1 centimeter, but horizontal measurement. There, very good. Let's do a revolve, and there we are. So you see, we very simplistically created a sketch and then created the required geometry. And this building element will be will help us a lot to create everything what we need. So what would be the next step? We know that we have 6 of those next to it. So I can do a little test, showing you like a little bit of a design process now. So we double tap the object, select it, move this over, and I would like to have 1 centimeter of a distance. There, very good. Then I can go to a top view, move the 3D widget to the center there, either aligned onto the z-axis or the center of the circular cap, and then we make a copy every 60 degrees. 360 divided by 6 is 60. 120, yeah, so 180, 240, and 300. Yeah, this actually looks good. So these shapes are the outer diameters. Okay. Now we also have kind of like a horizontal surface that connects all these elements together. Let me show you now how we can very easily create this. When we select all these edges, let me see this. Okay, and maybe select this face, we can do a project. But now it's kind of like we're projecting this onto the face. Does this really work? No, you see, no, it didn't really do what we wanted. So what we will do actually instead is we will go to Add Construction Plane, select this face, go Next, and simply click Done. Now we created a construction plane into which we can project. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then onto this construction plane and project. I will select all these objects and then drag them into this object. That puts them all into a folder. Very good. Look at that. You see it? Now we have actually these 6 circles in the outside. Each circle I can give a nice offset. How much? I don't know yet. So let's explore. What about 1 centimeter of an offset? 1 centimeter. Okay. And then somewhere here later we will put in a radius. Sorry, fillet. Good. I just do some more very loose offsets because I wanted to show you something. These inner circles I will select and delete. I don't need them anymore. And then I select all these center points of these rings and lock them. So now these rings cannot move anymore. This has a diameter of a radius of 3.5 centimeters. Very good. Let's make all others the same. I select all the rings, select this ring, which I dimensioned, and then I give this an equal constraint. If I adjust this now, you see they all adjust. Super easy. Okay, I hope this so far showed you already how just via very simplistic geometry, we step by step start working ourselves towards the bigger problem. Maybe see this as a reference in classical art. When we go to a museum, we only see the final masterpiece, but we don't see how everything was sketched out before they started painting it. And we're kind of like doing the same. So we have actually the geometry, or at least, sorry, the sketch for the upper plate. If we want, we could extrude this 2 millimeters. Now I selected actually an edge, so I moved the sketch. There. Don't select the line, just the filling. So they're 2 millimeters, and we can call this lid. Very good. Let's hide this. And this sketch we can also call lid. Very nice. Okay. So let's continue working with our object here. I will hide this for the moment, so I just have an individual element, and I can continue working on. So we would like to offset, shell this, not offset. Well, actually, I'm offsetting the outer surfaces. But before we do this, let's give this a radius. 2.5 millimeters sounds good. Then we can select this face, and here we carve it out 2 millimeters. There we are. We end up with a nice small fillet in the inside. This is the reason why I filleted before I shelled, because it then creates the fillet correctly in the inside for me. There you see that. Let's take a look now at our lid. Okay, so we see where it is, but it does actually, the lid has no holes. So how do we solve this problem? First, I would like to have a little ring on this. So we move this up by 1 millimeter. Very good. Yeah. And these 2 edges, they will be rounded. because this is a 2 millimeter material thickness and each fillet radius then can only be 1 millimeter, I moved it up by 1. Because a circle with a diameter of 2 millimeter has a radius of 1 millimeter. You see, just the rings stick out. Okay, very nice. So this is so far good now, but how do we solve now the problem that maybe this cup, when we multiply it now 2 and join it to the lid, how do we get the center part open? Let me show you how we solve that problem. It's also very easy. We make here again a copy. So to 6 centimeters. Because I have grid snapping turned on, everything's so easy to do and precise. I snap to the center line and then I do the same. 60 degrees. 120, 180, 240, and 300. Very good. Okay. Then all those. I move into this folder for the moment, including, oh, where's this object? Oh, it's in there too. Okay, very good. The reason why I kept those is simply we can do a very easy and simple trick now. So all these faces, I simply expand. So I overbuild, that's the term for it. And you see it sticks through. But they completely occupy the volume of the whole design. So we shelled our second copy by 2 millimeters, which means, okay, we then have to change this by 2 millimeters. So from a radius 2.5, we have to change this to a radius of 2.3. And one more. Okay, there. So you see, it's perfectly in. Nearly, there's one detail to show. So when I select this face and move it, so everything, as you can see, adjusts, just not this one. So here we have to also do an offset change by minus 0.2. So we can do this one by one, or we simply select all and then do them all together. There we are. Let's double check. We do a cut section, take a look at our filled pieces, turn this on and off, and try to see where our objects, yeah, no, this works really good. Even in the sketch here, there you can see how the domed, which we offset to the inside, have a perfect, yeah, the flow actually, the sketch, good. Okay, so all this is actually correct. We can then do actually the following. So we turn this on, this is our lid, and I will remove this from it. So you see I selected first the lid, then I selected the folder with all these objects and select subtract. Keep nothing, just generate this shape. Very good. Quick check, when we put this in, does this look good? Yeah, this looks actually good. You can even see there that this is all correct. So the lid does, it kind of like the openings sit right on the inside of our cups. And then we can do a join. And there we are. We have one piece where we have a flat and then these cups, and they all are shelled perfectly. Easy. And this we can call container. Okay. Let's drag this one also out. Let's wait a moment. There we are. Let's clean up a little bit. Good. A little bit of detailing. If this is silicone, these sharp edges will not work really well. They are prone to tear. So we will give those a rounding. I select each edge, as you can see there, and then give this a fillet. 1 centimeter looks good. Very nice. The surface is actually because it's silicone, it's very flexible. We need to stiffen everything up a little bit. So here along this edge, I would like to have something thicker. Let me show you an interesting trick. We will go to Sketch and then turn on Offset, Loop, select this edge, and then I bring this in 5 millimeters. Very good. Okay, hide this. There you see actually the sketch, and we will call this lid rim. There. Go back to Sketch and Offset. Select this one more time. We could offset this back by 0.5 if we want to, or I could also, just to show you the options, select all these edges, select the sketch, and then use the project command. But I have to select all the edges, which is why the offset with loop here simply works. Very good and easy. Now this, I would like to extrude by 2 millimeters down. When this is 2 millimeters, then I can give this a radius of 2 millimeters actually. There. Very good. And this and this, I can join union. There. You see how easy it was to give this a material thickness. Here, this edge, I will select. Give this a small, gentle radius. Here we could do the same too, to make this uniform. Very good. So this part actually is more or less done. I will undo one time the filleting of this edge. So I have just this surface and this as a straight edge. I will need this actually. We can always add the fillets later. In general, it's also very good to add fillets at the end. So the container is done. And now we have to build a lid, and the lid should sit on top, go around, have kind of like elements that snap on the back, and then we need also to have grooves cut out so that this actually goes into the cavities, so we can create some sort of a seal. How do we do this? Sounds very complicated, but again, it is very easy if you just think about step by step, logically, how can we create everything out of, I don't want to say simplistic steps, easy. Work smart, not hard. So let's take a look at our sketches and clean everything up. We can call this side profile. Very good. So this one I don't need anymore. The lid rim, no lid. Yeah, so with the lid we have to work. I could make myself the work of rebuilding the whole surface, and then I have to create the, how can I say it? I have to round the edges, etc. Maybe a little bit too much work. No? So I know this actually should be this lid should have a 2 millimeter material thickness. Okay, so which means I can offset a plane from here. So from this construction plane, add plane 2 millimeters up. Very good. And now I will call, actually this was actually incorrect. I realize we call this maybe horizontal surface. because this is actually the lid. Okay, then this we can hide. This I hide too. So when I select this outline or face, click this, I can project this to it. Very nice. Hide then everything else. We have a little fillet here. So when we go to the top view, take a look, there you can see, now there's a fillet. What's the radius of the fillet? I think we set this to 1 millimeter. If we go now to millimeters, it's easy to read out. Very good. So that means when I go offset loop, give this a 1 millimeter radius, top view, yes, it perfectly fits on it. There. So you see, we have actually the outer parameter. Now I could go ahead, double tap the inside, delete. Select all these rings, delete, and there is my lid sketch. Lid. And I call this lid top. This will be 2 millimeters down. So it will sit right on that container. See that? Okay. Along the sides, we would like the lid to go down too. So how do we do this? Also here, very easy. 2 millimeters material thickness. Okay, so I need, in addition to the sketch, I do another offset by 2 millimeters. Select this, new profile, and then I can go down. But how much? 5, is this okay? This looks good. Okay, very good. So I think if this should be 6 actually, I might have made a mistake. Let's take a look. Yeah, I think I made a mistake. The initial, I think this construction plane I put down, oh yeah, I just only put it up by 1 millimeter, not 2. So how do we correct this? Not a big deal. This is good, this problem happened, so I could show you how we easily adjust this. So I select all the sketches, or the lid sketch and the lid construction plane, and then we just try to move this simply up by 1 millimeter. There. And there. Okay, now obviously my geometry here is not correct. No problem. We drag this up to be 6. Now, if we go to the side view, make a cut section, yeah, that is correct. Where is my this other body? There it is. This is actually 1 millimeter too deep. Also here, rather simple, select the whole object in the folder view, and then we just drag it up. Okay. So these two, we simply join together. There we are. Okay. Well, now we can see how this perfectly fits in. How do we do the cavities? It's easy. We select our lid, select the container, and then we say subtract. This time we would like to keep the removed bodies. Let's see, is this the correct order? Yes. There. So from the lid, we remove the container, and then via subtract, now we just cut it out. And let me undo this step one more time. So the lid, the body, because the lid is our target, the container is our tool, subtract, and then we want to keep the removed body. So everything that's blue right now, that is our body, our tool. No? There, easy. So you see, I didn't really bother making any sketches for these cavities. I just used the container to remove its own volume from the lid. That's effective modeling. Now, these two parts fit perfectly together, but the lid would actually fall off. We need to somewhere have a little bit of a helper, like a lip, and we will do this right here. So I select this face, and then with a finger double tap onto it. Very good. And I will work on this side because this is horizontally aligned. The other two rings, so here and here, they are at an angle. I could work there, it's just more complicated. I will select any edge, maybe here the outer one, and then with the offset command, drag this in, but it drags the whole thing, and that's not what I want. So I just switch this to single and bring this in. 5 millimeters, it's for us to decide. I will go 7, so we have a little bit of an overlap. Okay. Also here, all these details can be changed later. Very good. So now I have this ring. Then I could select this and do an offset by 2 millimeters, so I have the material thickness. Very nice. Here I have this, the center point of these arcs. I will lock it so they cannot move anymore. Then I will draw a line, draw a line. It's easier now to hide everything else, so I do not project anything in. And what I would like to do now is create a nice even shape. So let me show you a very easy and simple drawing trick. First, these points here I will select and lock so they don't move. There we are, very good. This I will move to here on purpose, and then from the midpoint to the midpoint I draw a line. And you see how I have now a line there, and then from this I draw a line to this midpoint. Now the trick is this line we set horizontal, and then this line we set vertical. And look at that, how the other line actually goes with it. How beautiful. Now we could specify this as a distance, or we could give this a radius, 70 degrees. And you see the distance from here to there, or the distance from here to there is always the same. Perfect. So 3D view, one finger. We have actually our element. So here, this part, we extrude up by 2 millimeters, and we want this to be a new body. This is important. So ideally, to maybe make this easier, simply extrude this up without seeing any object. Then we can go to there and there and actually give this a fillet like this, maybe a little bit more, like 4. Very good. So this is actually quite nice. We don't have to give this a name because what we will do now is we have to do another copy and paste and rotate. So move the 3D widget to the world center. It's a little bit rotated. Now you see that. So maybe show a sketch, then it snaps to this line. Very good. Turn on the copy command and let's rotate it. 60 degrees, another 60, another 60, one more, and 300. There we are. And everything's good. They should perfectly snap in place. They do. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and delete and join. And here the sketch we can call lit lip. Very good. Maybe move this one down. And to clean up our scene here, let's put all those into a folder. We call this construction. Because then it's very easy to turn everything on and off. And there, as you see, we now have our finished design with a lid and a container. And the container, or actually the lid, has all the snapping elements and cavities built in so that the container will be perfectly held in place. And that's it. To perfect this design or the construction, we need to add connections between all these cups to stabilize everything. Keep in mind this is silicone. It's very flexible. So we turn everything off, go back here to our sketch, and this I will offset 10 millimeters. Then here I will draw a line. I can draw another line here. Okay, and let's rebuild the same design. we have on the other side. There we are. This we make horizontal. This is 10 millimeters. Very good. So this, as you will see, fits perfectly in there. And this line, I would like to do an offset down, maybe to there. Very good. And then I can extend, for example, these points a little bit. Let's add a distance to there, 35. So it's a little bit over the arced areas, not only on the flat lines. If we want to center the line here, make a vertical line, and then we set this vertical. Very nice. So this centerpiece now we will extrude by 1 millimeter. And then where did the object go to? There it is. There. And the top surface now we will set to 2 millimeters. There. Okay, very nice. Here we want to actually extend this a little bit. So I moved this by 1 millimeter, you see. Now I can select both faces or just one face. So it's 1 millimeter left and right. The reason why I did this is because now it sits actually right inside the wall, but it does not go through it. Maybe here, this top, I moved down by 1 millimeter. Very good. So, same as before, we make some copies. There, 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 and here's the last one. Very good. And then all those together with the container, we just join. So there we are. I mentioned before, sharp edges a silicone material does not really like. They are prone to rip. So here I select these edges, and then via the fillet command we will give this a rounding. Not too much, a little bit like this. Okay, now this is nice. I hope there you also saw again a very simplistic sketch, very basic geometry, and then the details like this, the rounded ends, we then just do via a modeling command. And now we could say that actually this design is fully finished and modeled. Yeah, this looks good.